violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
We begin with breaking news. 2 shootings hours apart, one of them turning deadly in Coral Gables, the other, which broke out in Northwest Miami-Dade, injuring 2 people who police say were at the wrong place at the wrong time. Tonight, we have team coverage on both shooting investigations. First, let's head over to CBS 4's Gabrielle Arzola. She's at the scene in Northwest Miami-Dade, where more than 40 bullet markers line the street.
And guys, it can pretty much pop off at any moment. I told you we're living in an op culture where a lot of young super gremlins are pretty much formulating and romanticizing random enemies from different areas in their local city for no reason, okay? They find something to disagree on and then they beef, okay? And they exchange violent acts toward each other, and it makes no sense because all you're doing is putting yourself and others at danger. I mean, who really wants to live looking over your shoulder? But in this case, you know, innocent bystanders were caught in the crossfire. It can go down at any moment, guys. You have to be aware these super gremlins are on demon time.
Well, it's all cleared up now, but the road was closed down for several hours. Neighbors tell me the sounds sounded like a machine gun. Earlier today, 27th Avenue was shut down for several blocks by the Village Flea Market. Detectives were looking at dozens of markers that had shell casings. Police canines were here and helicopters. Now, this is what we know so far. The Miami-Dade Police Department says 2 cars were shooting at each other along Northwest 27th Avenue.
And they shooting outside the Wendy's, near the McDonald's. I mean, not a care in the world.
And 2 people were shot. We know 1 victim is a woman. It's unclear if these victims were in the car or pedestrians caught in the crossfire. We saw police holding up a child in their arms. Now, investigators did say 1 person is in custody. Now, while we were here, we saw 1 woman being put into handcuffs. Now, again, there are still a lot of questions here that we will continue to push for throughout the night. But for now, in Miami-Dade County, Gabrielle Arzola, CBS 4 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
I mean, this is a great neighborhood. You feel so safe here, and you wonder, you know, how these things could happen.
Well, a chaotic scene in Coral Gables today. That's where police say a shooting led to a police chase. The suspects finally caught in Coconut Grove. CBS 4's Peter Dench has been speaking with...
Oh, so you mean they weren't gunned down by the police after a police chase? Interesting.
Neighbors, police, and a man who heard the shot that was fired. He joins us live from the scene at Merrick Way and Aragon Avenue. Peter, what's the latest from there?
Well, Lauren, Miami-Dade police have taken over this investigation. They tell us the victim died in a botched robbery. Now, it's not clear at this point who he was, if he in fact worked at the building, but we can tell you that neighbors are very upset about what happened here.
For me, it's horrible. I'm a very sensitive person.
Neighbors say they can't believe a man was shot and killed at this building at 10 Aragon Avenue in Coral Gables.
I'm just shocked. You know, it's horrible. So, you know, it's just not much comments about this. I just hope that will never happen again. I'm very sorry for relatives.
Miami-Dade police say the victim was gunned down during a botched robbery. Rafael Grana was...
And this is the thing, guys. This individual probably gave it up. Most likely they complied with the robbers, but it's not enough for these super gremlins. They want to take your life, and it's so unfortunate. But that's just how it is nowadays. You know, there has been an emboldenment, and there is also a culture of these super gremlins wanting to catch bodies. Okay, they're excited to catch bodies. It's like a Boy Scout badge or something. It's completely ridiculous.
Working in the building.
I heard the gunshot, but I did not know it was a gunshot. I heard a loud sound. I got in the elevator and went down to the lobby and saw the commotion. They told me they were looking for a shooter.
Terrible. I mean, this is a great neighborhood. You feel so safe here, and you wonder, you know, how these things could happen, but they happen.
Coral Gables Police Chief Ed Hudak says officers responded quickly.
A description was given to our units that a vehicle had fled the scene at a high rate of speed.
Can we get a description, please, so that people are aware?
With 2 individuals inside. One of our officers, one of our K-9 sergeants, was able to observe them within seconds.
Hudak's officers received help from both Miami and Miami-Dade police as the suspects were pursued. A perimeter was set up when they bailed out of their vehicle and ran in different directions. They were captured near Southwest 27th Avenue and Bird Avenue in Coconut Grove.
Crime happens everywhere, but it really doesn't matter to our police society. Wherever you go, we work together quickly, and we were able to take these 2 people off the street for further investigation.
And shout out to the police for apprehending these super gremlins on demon time. But it wasn't enough to stop this individual from losing their lives. So it's just sad, man.
Chief Hudak says Miami residents help police.
We got a lot of phone calls, and again, I want to thank the residents of Miami for calling us right away when they saw people going through their yards, because it really kind of were able to identify the subjects that we wanted in custody.
Wow. So the community worked together and they apprehended the suspects just like that. We pretty much know that this is not the community we're talking about, okay? Whoever did this went into a more connected community and thought that they were going to get away with this, but no, got caught, you know? So shout out to the police.
Chief Hudak says any surveillance tape that his officers find will be turned over to Miami-Dade police. They say at this point it's not clear what the motive was. They have not identified the 2 suspects. Coming up at 6 in just 1 hour, we'll hear from other neighbors about how unusual this crime was for this area. Live in Coral Gables.
You heard that. Unusual in this area. So we know there's not a lot of super gremlin on demon time activity over here in Coral Gables, and they're a connected community, and they want to get rid of these types of individuals who are going to, you know, steal and take the lives of innocent people who are just trying to work and make a living like everyone else in this world. So, you know, shout out to the Coral Gables community for, you know, coming together and snitching.
Peter Datch, CBS 4 News.
2 teens are now arrested and accused of a horrific crime. Police say they killed a man even after he had given them what they wanted.
What did I say? They taking your life even after you give it up. These super gremlins are on demon time.
The victim was working when he was approached and gunned down.
7's Danielle Garcia has the details.
This is 18-year-old Gary Ragin and 17-year-old Jermain Walker. The 2 teens police say shot and killed 67-year-old Jorge Romero Gil at 10 Aragon condominiums in Coral Gables.
Coral Gables is working a shooting. They have 1 victim.
Police say the teens were going around the area looking for someone to rob. They saw the victim, a handyman, and followed him into the alleyway where they robbed him at gunpoint while wearing ski masks.
Correction. Pusheisty mask, pusheisty mask, pusheisty mask. And you can tell these are very dumb, unintelligent individuals, because you're robbing a handyman, but it's like, I mean, handymans, I'm not saying they don't make good money, but it ain't like you gonna really come up off of robbing a handyman. Where are you gonna take his wrench or his hammer? Like, what the hell?
But even after giving them what they wanted, police say the 17-year-old shot Romero Gill anyways. And while the victim was lying on the ground, police say they continued rummaging through his stuff before getting back in their car and leaving.
Wow. Thank God these super teen gremlins on demon time were caught and apprehended, bro. Oh my God. Like, this is, I mean, this type of crime is it's unforgivable. Okay. And I really hope that they're not given any chances and they're prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You know, they don't deserve to be out here with the rest of us.
Lavon Gonzalez works around the corner and says he walks through that same alley every day. Got to work Friday just an hour after the shooting.
They didn't let me come into the back. We saw like all the yellow tape, we saw everything, and we were just curious on what was going on. You know, my parents reached out to me. They were like, hey, you know, there was a shooting in the area. Is everything okay? Are you fine? I think it's pretty crazy, especially considering the location.
The location just a block off Miracle Mile.
It's scary. It's one of the things you don't want to see in your where you live, of course. But we chose to live here with our kids also because it's safe. We feel good.
But on Friday, the typically...
And this just goes to show that the super gremlins are creeping out to the safer neighborhoods, and you gotta watch your back everywhere you go now.
Safe area was swarmed with officers. Police said after the suspects left the Gables, they drove to Coconut Grove, where they eventually crashed and ran. One witness who did not want to show his face told 7 News he saw the pair driving recklessly and run a red light.
Well, he almost hit my car coming down the road.
7 News cameras captured SWAT team and heavily armed officers as they set up a perimeter in the area until finally those suspects were caught and cuffed.
I want to thank the residents of Miami for calling us right away when they saw people going through their yards.
Danielle Garcia, Today in Florida.
Well, detectives say both of the suspects confessed to the crime. The 18-year-old is being held on no...
Wow, so after all that, you're going to confess to the crime. And now you're... I mean, these guys are going to get charged with murder. You're done. Hopefully they're done, at least. You know, with this criminal justice reform and the so-called racist white supremacist criminal justice system, you know, they might be out in 48 hours. Who knows?
Bond. We do not know the 17-year-old's bond at this time since he is a juvenile.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.